Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to Team Forbidden's YouTube page again. It is Andrew the Collector here. Well, Cyberstorm Access is game released today as of recording this video, and you know what that means. A new format is here. So I'm going to do what I did last time, and I'm going to create 3 videos, top 5 meta, budget, and rogue decks. So stay tuned for the other 2. Today we are going to be discussing my personal top 5 meta decks for this upcoming format. And this is pre-ban list. We still don't know, as of recording this video, we don't know when the ban list is going to be dropping. So when it does come out, I'll make an update video with an update for all 3 lists in one video. You know, just kind of shotgun it. But depending on what they hit, these lists could change drastically, or they could not change at all. Who knows? We'll just have to see what happens. But any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into number 5. So for number 5, it's actually going to be Mathmac. Mathmac at one point was a pretty good contender for the top meta decks, but they fell out of relevancy pretty quickly as the format kind of shifted more towards Cashier and Runic, Naturia Runic, and all that stuff. But for this time, they get new support in the new Firewall Dragon monster that came out in Cyberstorm Access. So with that included, they're able to combo more efficiently, going either first to set up a control board, or to OTK going second. So that is the reason it is top number 5. And number 4 is going to be Naturia Runic. There's a whole bunch of different Runic variants that you can go with. You can go Pure, you can go Sprite, you can go Tri-Brigade, but Naturia Runic specifically has been consistently the most successful one. Because if you set up an Naturia Beast with a Barkion, and you're just able to continuously deck out your opponent and replenishing your resources with Fountain as you go along. Out of all the decks, I think that this one, along with another one that will be coming sooner on this list, this is one that is going to probably get hit on the upcoming list. So this might change its position depending on what they hit. Because if they want to hit something, they should hit Fountain or Tip. Those are the things that make the Runic engine the most viable. So for number 3, we have Branded. They also got new support in the terms of 3 new cards: the Fusion, the Synchro, and the new main deck monster, which I believe is Yugioh. With the inclusion of those, this deck just keeps getting better and better. It is definitely a big contender in this current format. Last format, when Cashier first came out, I consider it to be the second best deck at the time. And while that still may hold true, the next one coming up, it might just outpace it just a little bit for a lot less. But the thing that makes Branded so good is that you can do so many different things. You can go a Dogmatica version, you can go an Albaz version, you can go Despia, or you can do a culmination of all of them. But it's really good. It's pretty cheap, if I'm being honest, and it's a really good contender. And for number 2, this one is kind of a hit or miss, depending on your perspective, but I'm going to go with Purely. I've playtested Purely a lot with the new support, and I will say the deck is good, like really good when it gets going, but it has a lot of pitfalls. Because Exceed Encore really hurts the deck. A Kaiju hurts the deck. Board Breakers hurt it. If you stop it at just the right point in time, you may cut off their turn as a whole. It may take a really good pilot, but I guarantee you that this deck will do it will show up a lot in the top cuts, but I don't think it's going to be as successful here as it is in the OCG because our formats are just so different. But I still think that Purely is going to do something, but I don't think it's going to be the best deck. I'm putting it here to be safe, but depending on how the format shapes and what happens on the ban list, its position could change. But let's get into our number 1. It's of course going to be Cashier. As of now, pre-ban list, it's still going to be Cashier. I mean, they have a walking, talking Microcosmos that can spot banish a card on that your opponent controls. They have access to Fenrir, to Unicorn. They have access to Diablos, to Big Eye, to a bunch of rank 7s in their extra deck, plus a lot of good controlling on the board. They're good at going first or going second. So it is no surprise that this deck is going to be number 1 for this current format. But depending on what happens on the ban list will drastically change how this deck works. or where its place is in the format. But guys, that is it for the top 5 meta decks. Stay tuned for the next video, which is going to be the top 5 rogue decks. So until then, I'll catch you guys later.